Hello, good afternoon, folks. My name is Ruben, and today me and my fellow classmates will talk about how Chinua Achebe's use of literary elements throughout the novel, such as symbolism, foreshadowing, and a multitude of others, have helped to give readers an understanding on the Igbo culture and customs to further explain how these things are changed when colonization takes place.
Hello, my name is KEILEANA, and I'm here to talk to you about symbolism. Symbolism is the use of symbols to represent ideas or qualities. In this book, there are many references to the Bible. In chapter 7, there was a mention of locusts coming to the village of Umuofia. The people of Umuofia viewed the arrival of the insects as a good thing and plenty of free food. In the Bible, locusts represent a plague and symbolizes bad things. Later in chapter 15, Obierka says, the oracle said that the other white men were on their way. They were locusts. This quote tells us locusts can also be seen as a nuisance or bother to inhabitants of a society.
Hello, I'm JAYLEN, and I will be talking to you about the literary element foreshadowing. Foreshadowing is defined as a warning or indication of a future event. In chapter 15, the author uses locusts as a form of foreshadowing to explain that bad things are going to happen. In biblical terms, locusts have been thought of as evil or bad creatures, and the oracle in Things Fall Apart fully supports this claim. The oracle calls the white people locusts, and that the first man was a harbinger sent to explore the land. As the story goes on, more white people do come and begin converting villagers and bring about a change to multiple people's lives. In the second part of the book, the white men are slowly developing dominance in the villages, but in part 3, the white men pretty much take over. It is a perfect example of foreshadowing and how it comes to pass. The next element up for discussion is flashbacks. Flashbacks are defined as a scene in a movie or novel set in a time earlier than the main story. In the book Things Fall Apart, flashbacks are used in order to give us background information on the story. The flashbacks in this story inform us on what the Umuofian culture is and how the Umuofian people handle situations, but they also give us the understanding of why disputes are handled in certain ways and why certain characters feel a certain way about particular aspects. For example, the telling of Okonkwo's throwing up the cat lets us know that the villagers value strength and that wrestling is an important part of their culture. These flashbacks occur a multitude of times during part 1 of the book. We will now be discussing mood. Mood is the atmosphere of a literary piece. When discussing a literary work, mood is characterized by how a specific piece of writing makes you feel. There are many different emotions that are evoked throughout the entire book, but the strongest feeling detected is pessimism or hopelessness. There are plenty of events contributing to these overall moods. For example, the title of the book, Things Fall Apart, evokes a negative feeling. This mood continues to show up throughout the entire book in situations such as the white people establishing dominance and Okonkwo committing suicide.
Lastly, we will be discussing setting. Setting is defined as the place or type of surroundings where something is positioned or where an event takes place. This story takes place in the lower villages of Nigeria around the 1890s. During this time period, colonialization is occurring and the Europeans from Britain were working on conquering as much land as they could. The name Nigeria came from the British mercantile company known as the Royal Niger Company.
To conclude, the novel Things Fall Apart, written by Chinua Achebe, uses multiple literary elements such as symbolism, foreshadowing, flashbacks, and setting. These all contribute to explaining Igbo culture as well as how Igbo culture changes when colonialization takes place. Thank you for your time and attention, and we really hope you enjoyed the video.